Where was I? Yes. This particular deck that I have at my disposal, I'm just going to be playing it a little bit until Monster Hunt comes out, and then Monster Hunt's going to be my main focus after that. This deck, so it takes the typical even Paladin, and I decided to go for a little bit more of a controlling edge, throwing in a few different cards that other people don't run quite as often. Seedic Swamp Ooze, for example. I feel like some people might run that specifically to fight against Cubelocks, Skull Minari, but they may not, it kind of depends. Then the rest of this is just relatively standard. Direwolf Alpha, even though it's a more aggressive card, since I always have minions on the field, it's pretty good. Dry Gulch, Night Juggler, Plated Beetles for a little bit more control. Jumping up to Blessing of Kings, just one. Some Call to Arms, that's just good in general. It doesn't matter whether or not you're playing a more controlling deck or an aggressive one. Oh, Equality. That was the other card I was considering putting into this. So I'll mix that up a little bit. I'm going to ditch a Saronite. Just one Saronite ditch. Put in one Equality. And I'll see how that does me. Alright. And then, throughout all this, I only have one Sea Giants, because I only have one Sea Giants in my collection. And then, of course, YOLO Deathwing. You always go for YOLO Deathwing. Always. Anyways, let's see how this works for me. Gen's obviously the central piece of this. Does his job every single match. He is my 1-drop. He is my 3-drop. He is everything. Very confident in this. We'll see how it goes. I don't have a huge amount of practice with the deck just yet, so it's currently okay. Halfway decent. New to this whole streaming business, but I'll manage.
Your soul shall be mine. I will fight with honor.
And just get this Plated Beetle into the deck, and already it's wanting to get to work. Against a Warlock, it might be a good idea to keep the Acidic Swamp Ooze now that I think about it. So I'll ditch the other ones. Whew. Today is going to be a long day.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
But this one's my favorite.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, so let's think strategy. Trying to kill a Cubeblock is harder than it looks, especially when they drain their health, because they have things like the Lesser Amethyst Spellstone and the Dark Pact that keep them healthy enough. What could he actually do to a Direwolf Alpha? That's the thing I'm wondering, which of these I should play immediately. I think I want to play the Plated Beetle instead.
The battle!
Direwolf Alpha would give me 1 more damage this turn, but then if I play it next turn, then it'll get me 2 more damage then, which in the end makes it a better play then. So I just need to exhibit a little bit of patience. It's a little bit tricky thinking of the exact mathematics of the circumstance, but that is better. Unless something like this occurs, in which case everything is a little bit more frustrating. Do I want to coin out True Silver to deal with that? Or do I just want to play my Direwolf? I am going to coin out the True Silver.
For justice! The battle!
See, the coin actually sucks for an even Paladin, because their hero power is kind of like their coin. You want to spend the coin, it's usually when you have 1 spare mana that you want to get rid of. And a card that you want to end up ramping into.
Reporting for duty.
Positioning is key. The Silver Hand recruits are going to be summoned on the right, so I want to make sure I manage that. Okay. There's the Saronite that I kept in.
Reporting for duty.
There's this beautiful GIF on Reddit, actually, that, it doesn't matter. But basically, it showed exactly this, where it's like a board continuously coming back. I think I'm just going to let that be for the time being. I can Equality Consecrate whenever things go south. I'll fish for poisonous, though.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, so no poisonous. With that in mind, Divine Shield's probably the best bet.
The battle! Free me! Free me!
Alright, this is good. This is really good. Question is whether or not I want to use Consecrate at the same time. Yeah, I think I do. It'll generally just make it such that my board is healthier and harder to deal with. Now that is a combo. That is a limiting combo. Bam! Take that. And he already spent an amethyst, so if you have both amethysts, oh, there. I would have been equally open if I had decided not to use the Consecrate. I already have another Consecrate in hand, so it's like partially wasted resources otherwise.
No more take candles.
Reporting for duty.
Do I want Blessing of Kings now or later? I think I want a Blessing of Kings later. Now the question is, do I want Sword Strike now or later? Because if I draw my Silver Sword, then that could give me a potential lethal. Yeah.
For justice.
Silver Sword is the way to go. I'll remain patient.
Your magic shall not save me.
Alright, he still needs to clear me to win. If a single minion's still alive, I win. The poor Silverhand recruits, they all got executed. Alright, there's the Amethyst Spellstone. But he's out of healing at this point, so that's good. Oh, I'm 1 damage off lethal. Oh, that is frustrating.
Lock him up.
It's still the same circumstance. If he does something like play Voidlord, I win. Just straight up. So he needs to continue to clear my board. Or play multiple taunt minions, which he doesn't really have. So he's gonna kill this now, I assume. Yeah, there. Oh no. That was the worst of both worlds. Okay. There's the Silver Sword. Alright, now I threaten lethal. So he's probably going to taunt up. Or heal himself, but he's already used a lot of healing. That's not going to get him. Oh, it's going to get him 5 armor. Okay, that's something at least. Alright, but now the game becomes annoying.
Reporting for duty.
Alright.
Justice.
Now I need to play a controlling game. Because he's going to continue healing. If I try just being aggressive, it's not going to end up working. So, control that. He might still have Siphon Soul, so I'm not going to drop the Blessing of Kings on that. On the other hand, does he really have a solution if I drop a Blessing of Kings on the other one? Let me think. It's like he can't double Siphon Soul. He can't bite to finish one. He could Siphon Soul, bite, and then he has 2 more mana to do 3 damage to a minion.
I must move quickly.
I don't think he has the means. I don't think he can deal with this board. He's gonna have to taunt up. And the moment he taunts up, I win. I think he knows that too. If he's smart, he knows I've been holding on to certain cards that I'm unwilling to play, which means that either the cards are tech cards specifically against him, Spellbreaker or Sea Swamp Ooze. Oh, come on. He actually did it, that bastard. Okay.
Reporting for duty.
Your magic shall not save you.
For justice.
Okay. So, subtle thing, small important detail is I played the second card. I played the first Spellbreaker that I had. So he thinks, oh, he just played his Spellbreaker. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have the means. He doesn't have the means to get past me anymore.
Darkness rises.
Alright.
Your magic shall not save you.
Reporting for duty. For justice.
Alright. I'm all in. He's used both Defiles. He's used both Hellfires. He doesn't have another Defile. I know he doesn't. Yeah. If he did, he would have used it. Okay. I still have lethal.
Who dares summon me?
Alright. I might need YOLO Deathwing. Again, this is neither the time nor the place.
This curse has become our greatest strength.
Reporting for duty.
Okay. What do I want to do? Do I want to sack into that? I think I do. I can't risk him, like, cubing. With that in mind, I can't risk him cubing that either. Then again, a cube by itself probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal. He would need another card to proc the cube.
Reporting for duty.
Gen's still alive, though, so I'll count my blessings. I think the health is actually going to do me more favors than the attack. One nice hard board that he can't. One nice hard board that he can't get through. We burned through his entire deck. This is remarkable. Where are his cubes? Did he just not draw them? There's one. Okay, he's just holding on for an answer. Little does he know, YOLO Deathwing, even if he gets an answer. Actually, that's not true. A Void Lord, I would have very little solution to.
Reporting for duty.
Victory for Gilneas!
The battle!
This is the most thrilling of top deck games.
Reporting for duty.
My top deck game is greater than yours.
The battle!
Yeah, but if he has a siphon, he can siphon bites, and then it just leaves a handful of Silverhand recruits. This game is far from over, is what I'm trying to say.
Darkness rises.
Case in point. Oh god, this top deck game is intense!
Put your faith in the light. Reporting position. The battle!
Victory for Gilneas! I'm almost out of cards.
I might get him on fatigue. That would be hilarious. Oh god, I'm actually gonna get him on fatigue.
I'm out of cards.
He has 2 cards left in his whole deck. Let's see. What do I think they are? 1 cube. It's definitely 1 cube. That's, yeah, there's the cube. What's the other card? Mortal Coil? He's already used 1 Mortal Coil. Heh, there's Deathwing. But I already have Lethal. Sorry, Deathwing, maybe a different game. If I was losing, though, you would have been really helpful. Okay. I'll finally get to rank 6, and then after that rank 5 ends. This is like my first month where I've been more legitimately playing Hearthstone again, just because the YouTube channel's taken so much energy away from me. Time and energy specifically, and then before that I had other life events that made it such that I couldn't play much Hearthstone. So I haven't even made it to rank 5 since, like, December.
Versus Gul'dan.
And those golden epics that you get
Soul shall be
are
mine.
particularly valuable.
I will fight with honor.
His opening hand's terrible, equality might be valuable, but I'm going to pass on it for now. Hard to say. Defending Gilneas, our wonderful penniless paladin steps up to the plate, bringing with him the host of a plated beetle, his favorite pet, studiously, loyally following him at his side, large enough to face off against even the staunchest opponents, and a couple of Saronite slaves. We didn't say this paladin was a good individual. He's actually a little bit messed up. But he will go forward anyway, bringing with him allies to hunt down the warlock menace that threatens this peaceful town. Or jungle from the looks of it, because that's
We
where I
have
am at the
turned our
moment.
curse into our strength.
By the might of Gen Greymane, our penniless paladin has many different support. Many different individuals to support him. Silverhound recruits, constantly coming in and providing support and maneuvers. They charge at the warlock, who remains patient, warding them as best as he can with his mighty power. He draws energy from his soul as he disappears further into the trees. But we do not let up as we continue to press the advantage. The job's done. The supports of the paladin going forth and doing more damage, cutting at the trees. And the pets. And the pet plated beetle supporting as well. But lo! A tar monster emerges from it, blowing the horn to call for more backup. Actually, not sure if that's what I want to do. Yeah, that's not what I do. The paladin himself steps forward, wielding his trusty silver sword. And he slays the beast, but not before it manages to take one of his men. Going forth once again. They do damage to the paladin. Not to the paladin, to the warlock. What other tricks does he have up his sleeve? No! He casts a spell and destroys one of the Silverhand recruits. Dying a final gasp, he looks up and he's like, "Penniless, I need you to avenge me." Before suddenly, all the flesh withers and decays off of him, and he falls dead. All that remains is the paladin and his loyal pet, which also dies as the warlock pulls out a powerful spellstone and destroys the plated beetle. Our paladin, now very frustrated, decides, okay, no more of this. He places the beetle on his head and calls for backup. That's some intense backup. Emerging from the trees, the twin brothers, knife jugglers, two gnomes of great fortitude, come out and immediately begin throwing knives at the warlock. The paladin remains on hold, deciding not to go forward with the strike of doom. Remaining defensive, sends out a burst of flame, eliminating all of the new reinforcements. That's actually really bad. Frankly, I'm stuck with Gen until I play him anyway.
This curse has become our
Gen
greatest
Greymane,
strength.
having watched from the background providing support, steps forward directly to provide a helping hand and support. To provide a helping hand. What will this warlock do in the face of this new threat?
Your magic shall not
Silence
save
him.
you.
Muhaha! Foolish warlock, says Gen Greymane. I cannot be silenced. Now behold, the might of my Stegodon! Hopping on top of a powerful steed, Gen charges straight into the warlock, dealing massive damage. I would threaten lethal if I went for face. So that's what I'm going to end up doing.
For justice.
The paladin joins up with him, attacking alongside Gen. The warlock on his last, still barely holding on,
Reporting for duty.
looks up at his perpetrators and says... Well, I'll have to see what he says. I don't know at the moment. I'll have to figure it out. You may get me, Gen, but I'm taking you with me, as he holds up a voodoo doll and curses our beloved protagonist. Gen looks down, looks up in horror at what might occur. For the warlock crushes the voodoo doll in its hands, slaying Gen permanently. His Stegodon roars in frustration. As the warlock unleashes a burst of necrotic energy. All of his allies down, still wearing the plated beetle on his head. Our penniless paladin once again looks at the warlock. Lifts his trusty sword up to defeat him. And then blasts him with a spell instead. Destroying his brains. Victory for Gilneas. And rank 6. That was fun. I enjoyed that a lot.